Emma here from Emma's Life in Norfolk. I hope you're all well. In this video today you're going to see me clear the rest of my bed and put some of my potatoes in. Although I've got a bit of a challenge because I've run out of space, so I need to think where I'm going to put some more potatoes. Also, you'll see one of my failures, you could say. I often think people think, oh, that they're not green fingered. However experienced you are as a gardener, sometimes things go wrong, sometimes things don't work, sometimes things don't grow as you want them to or expect them to. So I'll be talking a little bit about that. And then you'll also just see me doing some other work in the garden, and I'll give you an update on my greenhouse. So I hope you enjoy my video. So I'm nearly ready to do the potatoes. So we're back from Holland and I've come back to lots and lots of work that I need to do because the garden has just gone crazy. So I really need to get the potatoes in. So I was then just speaking to my husband. I'm going to do one row of beans. The beans aren't up yet, so I'm probably going to put beans there. Then the rest of the small space I've got, I'm going to put potatoes in. Then these big pots, I'm also going to put beans in. So I can move them to one side for now. As you know, I do run out of space really. I was also looking over here at this magnificent one. Oh, it's because it's grown into the ground, so that's why it's gone lovely. It's rooted in the ground. Look at those amazing leaves. This is one of my favourite vegetables. So this is a globe artichoke, second year one, and I love the silver leaves and the shape of them. So I'd like to put that into the ground really. Plant that in somewhere. I've got a couple more over here. I'm trying to be a bit more tidy. So these are Michaelmas daisies. Attached to a passiflora, which has gone a bit crazy. Let's put them down there for the moment. When that gets bigger, I'll sell that. And another one of these. I love them. There's another plant. There's globe artichokes and another plant which looks very similar, and I got them a bit confused. Just trying to make a bit of space here. It's full of plants. It's not actually possible to walk down the side. And that's nettle. What's that? Oh, my chocolate mint. There is no more. Put that there. Right, so that's going to come out. Whoops. So all this just needs to be tidied up, and I can then walk along the edge here, which will make it much easier rather than walking through the plants, which is what I do most years. There's another one here. They're beautiful leaves. I love them. I sold some, and a lady saw my advert and she came round and she said, oh, I thought they had silvery leaves. I looked online and it said they'd got silvery leaves. I said, they have, look. And I showed her. I think I was only selling them for like £4. Well, bear in mind how much I like them. She said, oh, I'm not sure. I said, I am. I've decided not to sell them, not to sell it. Oh, well, I might take one. I said, no, I've decided not to sell. She didn't like that. I thought when you've grown something and nurtured something, and then someone sort of looks at it like mass produced, and a plant which I think is beautiful, and her sort of saying it's not how I thought it was. This will give me more space by clearing this up a bit more. I've got Roman lettuce growing in here, and honestly, once you get Roman lettuce in your garden, you can't get rid of it. Those of you that follow me from other countries, do you have Roman lettuce? Or is it just a thing in Great Britain? So for us, when the Romans arrived, they planted it. And, well, the story goes that wherever they are, there would always be something for them to eat. Because it's a bit like a sort of spicy salad leaf. And you can't kill it. It just grows and grows and grows and grows. And they're right. So I guess it's just a thing in Europe. Don't know. Oops. I gave some pots away, you'll be pleased to know. So I sat with my daughter and got her started on the work she needs to do. And Grandad's coming round in a little while. So I said, well, if you can just get this physics revision product done. Now, in reality, it should take 30 minutes. But she's a bit like me. It takes longer than 30 minutes. It's much better. That's a weed. People say about stacking all the pots inside each other, but that only saves so much space. So it's Maundy Thursday today. I was talking to my daughter about what that means. And tomorrow being Good Friday. As a child, I could never understand what was good about it. It just seemed so awful. And as an adult, you understand a little bit more, but sometimes it's still hard to not feel emotional, I think. Maybe that's just me. Right, let's put those up there. Oops. Got quite a lot of pots which very poor soil in that I need to get rid of. Roman lettuce is spreading for sure. They say that if you want to get rid of all of it, you have to literally break every single bit. As soon as you see a bit of leaf, you have to break it. Now, I'm probably going to change it now because you can probably hear my husband cutting the grass. So I'll probably put it on fast forward. So you don't want to see me do all this anyway, do you? Let me know in the comments what you prefer. Slow time or a mixture of both. So you can see I managed to get quite a lot done, but of course there's quite a lot more to do. This only looks a very, very small area and it's not big. I would really like a bigger vegetable plot, but it's kind of difficult with the layout. What I could possibly do is take some of the bit to the right hand side. You can just see on the video where I've got the little mini greenhouse. I could maybe put some vegetables in there, but that's not something I'm really going to be able to organise this year particularly. I'm going to stick to those shelving units at the back there. I'm going to stick to those just being spare pots because I've put loads and loads of plants there, and of course you can't, unless you're watering every single one of them. I put some out there from the greenhouse and I forgot to water them and they died, so it seems a bit silly. So I'm going to tend to use those two shelving units to stack all the pots, apart from on the top, because the top ones will get rainwater, of course. And once I put the potatoes in, which you'll see me do in a minute, and I covered them all up, the following day I needed to get over there. And then I couldn't remember exactly where the potatoes had been put in and was trying not to walk on the ground. But I've left it completely clear at the side of the fence. Now I am wondering whether I should do another row of potatoes, and then the other side of the fence I could put my beans in pots, couldn't I? So I'm not quite sure what I'll do. I'm not sure what I'll do about that yet. Also, my lovely globe artichokes in those pots that I talked about earlier in the video, because I pulled them up and the roots had gone through the pot and into the ground, they looked a bit sorry for themselves today. But thankfully tonight, they look like they've recovered. So I am going to put them in my garden. I've cleared a spot and I've already got one, and I thought I might just do a clump of a few. I thought they'd look quite nice together. Put them at the back. And what's really good about them is they keep their leaves quite late into the year. So they add sort of like that different sort of silvery green colour, and also the nice shape of their leaves add a bit of variety to the bed. That's my thoughts. So you can see all those pots sitting there which now have dead plants in. I was just putting them, I used that very poor soil that I was trying to get rid of, so I just emptied them all into my brown bin. So my brown bin is very, very full and very, very heavy, but that'll be collected not the week coming, the week after, so the week after Easter. So that'll be good. So I didn't have my brown bin full, unfortunately, when I went to Holland, which is a bit of a shame, because I do try to always keep that full, but it's just one of those things. I don't know whether my mum used it. Sometimes my mum uses it when I'm on holiday. So I was quite pleased with what I managed to do. So in a minute you'll see me finishing off the potatoes. You'll see a little walk around of what my garden's looking like at the moment. And then you'll see a little clip of my greenhouse showing you how sometimes things are successful, sometimes things aren't. So my beans didn't grow. So I'm glad I checked them all, because I would have been waiting and waiting and waiting for nothing. So I'm going to repot them all, hopefully tomorrow if I get time. So while I was doing this, my husband was cutting the front grass and the back grass, but you can just about see I've still got a big pile of things. I planned to have a fire, and you'll see right at the end of the video I did have my fire, but it couldn't cut all of the grass because of all the piles of stuff, so I was quite pleased to have a big fire and get rid of it all. I know some people might disagree with that, but a lot of waste, if you put it in the bin, it's incinerated anyway. And I don't very often have a fire. I have a fire at bonfire nights, and then maybe every other year I might have a fire, but I had quite a lot of things that I just wanted to get rid of, so that's one way of getting rid of them. And I focus on burning wood, not, you know, loads of other things. So you can see I weeded there, then I weeded between all the little onions. My husband was then emptying the grass into the brown bin, which is good. And I have still got the kohlrabi, so please do let me know what you think, whether I should just get rid of the kohlrabi. Well, I'm going to go through some of your comments now, so thank you very much to those of you that take time to add comments to my channel. I've got 688 subscribers on this channel at the moment. I'm trying to get to 1,000, so thank you for those of you that add comments, because that means more people see my videos and more people will hopefully follow me. So first comment is from My Rusty Garden. My Rusty Garden says, beautiful to see all the spring bulbs coming up. Here's to an amazing seed sowing and growing season, from Ali, and Ali's in Canada. If you haven't already, please check out Ali's site, her YouTube channel. And Louise Tilbrook says, I love miniature trains. We have trains not far from my house. Lots of communities have them, all run by volunteers. Stacey says, just a beautiful and lovely garden. You are doing an amazing job. Keep pressing forward, from Stacey from Virginia. Angela says, well done sorting out the seeds. I was taught to grow potatoes in the garden and throw them away to take any unknown toxins out of the soil. I last did this before planting a tulip bed where patio had been, and it works a treat. Now, I'd never heard of that, and I've been talking to other people about that. So thank you for mentioning that. I find that very interesting. So potatoes take toxins out of the garden. How does that work, in that we grow potatoes and then eat them? Are we eating all the toxins? Louise Tilbrook also says, my rhubarb is in a big rectangular plastic terracotta look-alike pot, and it survived our hot summer. That's good news, Louise. The capsicums, have I pronounced that correctly? And spring onions died in the heat. My strawberries and tomatoes. Heart. Did your strawberries and tomatoes survive, Louise? Cammy says, I can't plant anything because it will ruin my husband's plans for the yard before we sell our house. Ha ha. Oh, are you planning to move, Cammy? And Pat Delaney says, I believe Gunnerer has now been banned. I would check it for your area. And Stacey says, I can't hear the bee. The bee was very loud, but only in certain parts of the video, Stacey, so that was probably why. Next comment is from Dawn Duke. Hello, Dawn. How are you? Dawn says, hello again from Perth, Western Australia. Emma, I have never had anything reseed and become a nuisance either. I certainly wish I had something that would grow like mad. I do need to plant some more seeds over the weekends. Friday the 4th of April. You have inspired me. Thank you so much. That's lovely, Dawn. How did you get on? Sandy says it's too wet to do anything after the storms went through. Lizzie is William Hawthorne 1375. Can you take garden waste down to the recycling centre? We can at the moment. It's easy to fill the bin in a week. So I've just prepared all the soil, as you've just now seen, and raked it over and taken away most of the weeds. I've got a couple of plants left, lamb's ear and an aqualetia, which I'm not digging up because I like them there. Now over the side there, you can still see some plants growing. I actually planted onions about 4 years ago, maybe even longer than that, and they were meant to be full-size onions. Over the years, they've sprouted, and now I've got lots of little bulbs there. So I'm actually going to use them for like spring onions with salmon, like my daughter likes. Then here I've still got my kohlrabi. I'm going to leave that and just see how I get on. Now this is the second time I'm recording this, because I went into the shed looking for a spade and couldn't find one. And then my husband came telling me what Alan Titchmarsh, how he tells you to grow potatoes. Now I do like Alan Titchmarsh, but I don't need him to tell me how to grow potatoes when I've got all of you to tell me what I've done wrong. Now they need to be about 60 centimetres apart. There's a lot of coarse grass in here, unfortunately. And those of you will know, once you've got coarse grass, it's very difficult to get rid of. So, you need to grow potatoes about 60 centimetres apart. And my father-in-law marks it all out very carefully. Look at all this root. So I'm going to do 3 here. And of course, you probably know, you should wait until the risk of frost is over. Now, in the United Kingdom, you can actually have frost in May, but I'm going to take my chance. So then I'll do my next row at about here. So it can't be a full row because of the kohlrabi. It's going to be close to a full one. Now, I'm in my 40s, early 40s I might add, or maybe I should say mid 40s, and bending over like this really starts hurting my back. So I was very impressed. My father-in-law did so much, and he's in his early 70s. Never complains about his back hurting. Maybe he's used to it. What do you think? The more you garden, you don't feel it anymore, perhaps. Oh dear, this coarse grass is bad. Just got to hope for the best. Right, good. Now I'm going to take one a bit further to here. Anyone know if you can eat the flower of the kohlrabi? I don't know. I can get 2 in there, I think. I've got loads of potatoes. Don't know what I'm going to do with them. Got too many. Now, if you haven't already subscribed to my channel, would you please consider subscribing? Because I've decided to treat myself. When I get to 1,000 subscribers, I'm going to buy some new boots. Look, can you see my boots? You probably can't see them. They're split. I decided I'd treat myself. Those of you that know me know I don't very often buy things for myself. It's my birthday soon, and people say, oh, bother, didn't mean to do that. What would you like for your birthday? Well, because there's loads of things I'd like, because I never buy stuff for myself. I'm not going to have much space in my beans, am I? Now, as my dad was telling me the other day, if you want small potatoes, leave all the eyes on the potatoes. If you want bigger potatoes, take the eyes off. I think one thing is us as gardeners, you never stop learning. So you can see, let me see if I can get this in camera. Yeah. So you can see how these are chitted. Some better than others. But you've got to be very careful these don't fall off where you put them in the soil. So I'm going to put one in there and cover it up. Put one in, cover up and press it down. Unlike leeks, which I'm reliably told you shouldn't press down hard. You shouldn't put the soil around it at all. Hope you can hear the birds. Beautiful. See all these weeds. You think you get all the weeds up, and then when you dig a hole, you find all the roots. Coarse grass and a whole load of other things that will compete with your potatoes. Yeah, as I was telling you, I've put my spade in my safe place, unfortunately. My little spade. So all I've got is this massive great shovel, which is no good for me. So I might ask for like a little lady spade for my birthday. Oh, the soil's fallen down there. Put that in again. That kohlrabi's not going to come to anything. Looks like it's been eaten alive by the many slugs that reside in my garden. Yeah, if anyone knows if these kohlrabi are going to come to anything, if they're not, please let me know and I'll dig them all up. I think I'll do another row. What do you think? I think I will. So it's probably along here. Did one row there. So back here. And see how the soil's gone really hard where I've been standing on it. God, so hot today. I'm not complaining. One, two, three, four. Try and get 2 in here. Okay. 1. Should be careful because I haven't got sun cream on. I don't wear sun cream much because I know some of you will disagree. Obviously, you should not let yourself burn, but personally, I think there are extreme dangers of sun cream. And like in schools in Great Britain, they ask parents, have you put sun cream on your child in the morning? Now, my daughter had a vitamin D deficiency. So I said, well, she needs the sun. How often is she out in the playground? They said, oh, about 20 minutes. Right, for break time, yeah. I said, well, is it a whole 20 minutes? Well, no, not by the time they get the drinks bottles, do this, do that, go to the toilet. It's less. Okay. What about at lunchtime? Well, they have 50 minutes. Okay. How much is that? Is that outside? 20 minutes. How much of that is in the sun? Oh, well, they're in that shade all the time. Okay. So it's probably 10 minutes she gets constant sun. Yeah, I'd say so. 5 minutes, 10 minutes. In that case, I'm not putting sun cream on her. Because it's more harmful than what it is good. They need vitamin D, just mustn't burn. Right, and that's me done for those lines. So I've got an apart row, and then 2 full rows. And in this I'm going to put my beans. So I've still got a lot of potatoes. So I need to think about what I'm going to do with that, with those. So I just wanted to show you this. I don't have my tripod out here at the moment, so hopefully you can hear me okay and see okay. But I mentioned to my dad about how, well, none of the beans have come up. And he said, well, it's a bit early. And I thought, well, I've put them in here. What was it, 2 weeks ago? And they've not come up? Well, one has come up. That one. So I wanted to show you this because gardeners don't all have successes every time. Either I have soaked these too much with my watering system, which is a little bit dodgy to say the least. Some areas get watered really well and others don't get watered at all. Or I had dodgy seed, because can you see all the seed is gone? And you watched me on the video, didn't you? Planting the seed. So I know some of you feel like, oh, well, I'm not very green fingered. Well, I could show you just these plants as a success and not tell you sometimes things don't go to plan. And I've been growing beans for goodness me, so many years. Every year I grow them. I've had problems with peas in the past where I kept growing peas and none of them came up, and then I suddenly realised that the mice were eating them all. But I have never had, I don't think I've ever had problems with beans. You see? So sometimes things don't go as planned. Now, every single one of these, you saw me put a bean in, didn't you? And there's no beans there. And that's because they've just rotted away. So I'm glad I didn't wait any longer. My dad was like, oh, I'll wait a little bit longer. He said, well, you could always look in one and just see if you can see anything growing. Well, I've got that one at the top is growing. This one has sprouted. This one has sprouted. And that's an empty one. So out of all them, so no point waiting any longer. And I'm going to move them into a different location because I think where I've positioned them, this is pouring on them. There's just too much. Oh, what's that? Is that a half rotten bean? Yeah, half rotten. So I think probably they're far too wet. So I'm going to put my little containers that I raved about to hopefully dry out a bit. And then I shall pot them up again. There's other things. So my leeks are growing. But I've got other things. I've not got any sign of spring onion yet. No sign of rosemary. No sign of chives. No sign of thyme. So there's other things that's not growing so well. And I remember the name of this, Echinops. Really, really nice. You might be able to hear my daughter singing in the background. Got to be careful because YouTube will pick it up and say that I've got copyright notice or something. These are my dahlias. So you see they've got one leaf, but they haven't got a real leaf, a true leaf, what we call a true leaf. That's the true leaf. So when you go to move these on, if you're growing any, don't take one out like that and repot it. Wait until these leaves, little leaves, the true leaves are much bigger. These are just the seedling leaves. And then I was then reading out Lizzie's comments, and she said they collect every other week. I don't think we are charged as much as you though. So yes, we can take our green waste to the recycling centre or dump or whatever you want to call it, but you have to book in a slot. So gone are the days that you can fill the car up and just drive down there on the spur of the moment because you've got so much to get rid of. So you know I've got a little Fiat 500, so I can't get much in mine. My husband's car is bigger, but not massive. And we don't clean out our cars that often, so we try to not kind of put things in them to get them worse than what they need to be. But yeah, you have to book it all in. And I can't believe how much my garden bin, the cost has gone up and up and up and up. But there you go. So you can see my daughter and I picking some of those onions. And I really had to hold myself back I wanted to take the little spade from her earlier, but I also wanted her to have a go. So I let her have a go, and then once she'd had a go for quite some time, I then helped. And the only thing I wish I'd done is I really wish I hadn't dug up the whole of the bulb, because then I could use them next year. And we did them. We did chives and these little onions. She chopped them all up and we sprinkled them over our salmon and baked the salmon, and we had it with potatoes and broccoli. And my daughter did a lot of it, so that's what we were doing there. Those onions went in originally as full-size onions, and they're just now turning into little onions, like spring onions. And then I leave you with a very short clip of a local church at Easter time. So thank you very much for watching my video. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you found it interesting, and I'll look forward to seeing you in the next video. Bye-bye.